The Watcher in the Woods. It was the last week of summer, and the thin veil of autumn hung in the air as Katie and her friends gathered one final time before heading back to school. Nestled just outside their small town of Elmsford was a dense patch of woods, long rumored to play host to all sorts of dark wonders, including everything from ghosts to mythical creatures. It became the perfect setting for storytelling. As they brought a tattered blanket to sit on and mud-caked sneakers, Tommy, the boldest of the group, jumped right into the spooky atmosphere. "You guys ever heard of the Watcher?" He leaned in, his face etched with feigned seriousness. "They say he lurks in the woods, always watching, always waiting. If you see him, it's too late." "Sounds like a bunch of baloney," Maria said, rolling her eyes. "What kind of creep would just hide out in the woods and watch kids?" "He's not just any creep," Tommy insisted, raising his voice over their laughter. "He has these soulless eyes, and his fingers, they're like claws. They say he can steal your sight, turn you blind when you least expect it." "Okay, tell us more," Katie said, intrigued despite herself. "Legend says one girl ventured in to prove he wasn't real, and once she saw him, she went deaf and blind," Tommy continued, his voice dropping to a whisper that cracked with tension. "For every look you catch, he takes an essence of you. You start to hear things you shouldn't. And before long, you're lost, and he's the last thing you'll ever see." The chill went down Katie's spine as she tried to laugh it off. "What color are his eyes?" she asked, skeptical. "Black as night," Tommy said, shrugging. "Some say he wears a tattered dark cloak, others say he just blends in with the shadows." Challenging him, Katie declared, "Let's find the Watcher then. It's probably just some scary story to keep kids away from the woods." The others shared a hesitant look, each glancing at the line of trees, their leaves rustling as if whispering secrets. "Let's make it a game," Clara said, ever the peacekeeper. "If we see him, we'll scream, and the rest will have to find us." Laughter echoed through the trees as the group agreed on the dare. Against all reason, excitement bubbled inside Katie as they made their way deeper into the woods, the sunlight slowly fading and shadows lengthening. Not far in, and dark branches towered overhead, blocking out the last of the light. They heard scuttling in the foliage, and Maria gasped, clutching Tommy's arm as he pretended to push her away. The laughter faded as an uneasy silence replaced it. "Maybe we should head back," Clara suggested, her voice quaking with an emotion that could only be described as fear. "Oh, come on," Tommy exclaimed, puffing out his chest. "The Watcher is just scared of us. What's the worst that could happen?" But a sense of dread heavy as the air fell upon them, leaving something unseen gnawing at their courage. They pressed ahead, hearts racing, whispers echoing in their minds from Tommy's earlier tale. It felt as if eyes could penetrate the darkness all around them. "Okay, let's just split up and look for him," Tommy proposed, stifling the tension with rash enthusiasm. "If we see something, we scream. Simple, right?" Katie hesitated. Something didn't feel right, but a part of her liked the thrill. Reluctantly, they divided into pairs, Katie with Clara and Tommy with Maria. The woods felt like a living tapestry, a wound of branches swallowing them whole. Minutes turned to half an hour as they wandered deeper. A chill gripped Katie's heart. Leaves crunched beneath their feet, unaware, as the howling wind began to hiss around them. The sun sank faster. Shadows formed grotesque shapes. Clara's voice broke the dark silence. "Katie, I have a bad feeling. Maybe we should go back." "Let's just go a little bit farther," Katie insisted. "We can't go back now, it'll be too boring. Plus, we have to prove Tommy wrong." Just then, Clara froze, her eyes glazing over. "Did you hear that?" A low hum resonated across the air, invading their very bones. Katie nodded, feeling the pull of energy. Then, as if conjuring a specter, what appeared to be a dark silhouette weaved through the trees. "We should go," Clara whispered, her voice quaking. But curiosity gripped Katie tightly. They trudged toward the figure, the air turning heavier, colder. The silhouette morphed from the shadows, revealing a tall, looming shape. Its face was obscured but glinted with eyes like pools of black ink. "The Watcher! Run!" Katie yelled, adrenaline flooding her veins. They dashed away as terror propelled their legs to carry them faster than thought. But something tripped Clara. "Go," she screamed. "Don't look back." Katy glanced, catching a fleeting glimpse of those soulless eyes. The watchful gaze seemed to devour her, urging her to stay. Clara's shouts echoed as she inched away, an offering to an unseen predator. The woods transformed into a labyrinth, twisting, turning, a nightmare carved in shadows. Katy stumbled back to where they'd begun, alone, surrounded by the oppressing darkness. She wanted to scream for Tommy, for anyone, but the bleak atmosphere gripped her screams and yanked them away. Finally, as if drawn by an unseen force, she stepped into a clearing. The Watcher stood before her, cloaked, towering silently. Time slowed as fear closed in. Just before everything went dark, Katy realized the truth. Hope in the woods was a trick. Out here, she was merely prey. Weeks passed, and even in the daylight, the woods had transformed into a hushed secret, a space that swallowed stories whole. Back in Elmsford, no one dared to step inside. Clara was never found, nor were the others. The townsfolk spoke in hushed tones about those who ventured too far, about what might lurk in the generational whispers of the tall trees. And just beyond the trees, every so often, a chilling whisper floated through the air. "I'm always watching."